In Hanson's One Nation Senator Sean Bell. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Peggy.
Good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Now, I was just looking down the website just a while ago, and you've got some Happy New Year 2026 resolutions, New Year resolutions, and some of them, of course, go without saying, like scrap net zero, stop mass immigration, eat more meat, and, of course, put Aussie families first as well. And I take it, this really, of course, is what One Nation's really founded on, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's about putting Australia first, putting families first, which are the backbone of this country. And, that's something Senator Hanson has been passionate about for her entire career, and it's something that I'm passionate about coming into the Senate now.
Yeah. Now, as we move on, of course, and we have a look at things, the elephant in the room at the moment is no doubt the Bondi massacre, the Bondi shooting, and, of course, the reluctance of the Prime Minister to hold the Royal Commission. And I was talking about this earlier on this morning and saying, to Xavier Martin, in fact, from New South Wales Farmers, and I was saying that, to have a review, there's no compulsion for anybody to appear at a review, but in a Royal Commission, if you are subpoenaed to appear before a Royal Commission, you must appear and you've got to tell the truth, haven't you?
That's exactly right. Peggy, Anthony Albanese's response to the massacre of Bondi has been nothing short of gutless and pathetic. And it again shows that this government, their knee-jerk reaction to things like this is secrecy and transparency. And so they've resisted. They've talked about anything other than a Royal Commission. But the good news is, after weeks of, the Labor government talks about having to unite in tragedy, come together as a nation. Well, it seems like they've finally achieved that with every single person in the country united in support for a Royal Commission. So it does seem he might be caving under pressure, but we'll have to keep that pressure on because Australians deserve real answers, and we need a full Royal Commission that has that power to compel people to come and give evidence. And
see, as I said earlier on this morning, one of the things that they were saying was the fact the Royal Commission takes too long. But the Commissioner can release an interim report and put that into motion as well.
Correct. And we can have another, if they want to go ahead and have other types of inquiries, other types of reviews beforehand, they can do that, but there's nothing to stop a full Royal Commission. And as you rightfully say, when you're dealing with intelligence agencies, communications with ministers, good luck getting that information public and transparent if you're not using something as powerful as a Royal Commission. And that's why the Albanese government has been resisting it, because they're terrified that their ministers will be put on, front the cameras, front the people hosting the commission and forced to give evidence when they know that they're under oath.
That would also be having a look at the immigration policy as well, too, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what we want. One Nation has said any Royal Commission that does not also consider immigration, the nations where people are coming from, the views they hold, and the vetting is not going to be comprehensive. And that's something that other parties don't want to touch. One Nation has been vocal and adamant that this is a problem for about, ever since Senator Hanson's come into Parliament, for 30 odd years, but in the last decade, especially this issue towards radical Islam. If we don't talk honestly and openly about that, and we don't finally have some scrutiny on that, then you're never actually going to get to the root cause of the issue, which is the continued growth of radical Islam in Australia, which is ultimately what is behind the terrible tragedy in Bondi.
Yeah, I think also in result of the tragedy in Bondi too, as the Australian public is now looking and saying, well, hang on a moment, one of these guys was actually on the radar. I know it was back in 2019 or something like that, but he was actually on the radar. So, how come this happened? Why wasn't he looked at more closely?
Yeah, correct. And he was on the radar because of his associations with people who were also on the radar. Because our intelligence agencies, they know where the hotspots are. They know where the hotbeds of radical Islam and these, violent, dangerous threats exist. They know that. And, that is why, we already have laws in place that most likely could have dealt or should be used to deal with people who hold these views, hold these beliefs, and these individuals. It's just that I believe that our politicians lack the intestinal fortitude to actually go ahead and carry it out. And they've actually been redirecting our intelligence agencies and law enforcement to focus on things like the March for Australia and Patriotic Australians. They care more about people waving Australian flags They care so much about, worrying about that they've turned a blind eye to people waving Islamic terror flags.
Yeah. On a positive note, I thought it was fantastic for the start of the fifth test at the SCG in Sydney, when all the first responders and some of the victims, of course, of the Bondi massacre were actually paraded before, and there was just a standing ovation for them all. It was quite a poignant moment, wasn't it?
It was beautiful, and as a big cricket fan myself, to see the community and the SCG stand up, that ovation probably would have carried on forever if they'd let it.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful sight to see.
Incidentally, too, going to be a fairly good day today, too, I would think. It's at an interesting stage, the test match. The Poms have sort of had a little bit of a resurgence there, and we can see what happens today. And going into the fifth day, of course, being the pink test, it's a good thing for it.
Yeah, look, I'll be keeping an eye on it. I very much enjoyed this last test. I'm a fan of Bo Webster. I'm good to see him take a couple of wickets with his off spin.
Yeah, and I thought the young English guy Bethel, I thought he played very, very well for his century, and it was a well-deserved century too, by the way. You look at that and you think, geez, that's a good knock, but at the same time you think we're probably going to be dealing with this bloke for the next, I know.
years.
Yeah. Well, he's only 22. Good heavens.
I know. So, I'm very impressive, but I'm sort of not looking forward to his future endeavours in Australia, I tell you.
No, it's been an interesting test series, actually. Look, thank you for your time, sir. I will keep in touch if that's okay with you, because I'd love to talk to you again.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. Appreciate it.